The Texas Parks and Wildlife television series is supported in part by Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, conserving the wild things and wild places of Texas thanks to members across the state. Additional funding is provided by Toyota. Your local Toyota dealers are proud to support outdoor recreation and conservation in Texas. Toyota, let's go places.
Coming up on Texas Parks and Wildlife.
You don't really need anything other than a pair of shoes and an interest.
Lately, we've found a lot of oysters. We don't know how they were harvested. There's no way of telling because they're coming in from another country.
It's a really fun place to start your kayaking and paddling journey.
Texas Parks and Wildlife, a television series for all outdoors.
The same people show up on Wednesdays. We become a little family. You know, all you really need is a pair of shoes and just like the will to want to run and be outside. Turn on our headlamps, we hit the trail and, just kind of watch where we're going. I mark the trail so that people can follow it in the dark. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, thanks. Glad to be here.
And then we just set off for about 2 to 4 miles to be out under the stars running through the forest with just a headlamp and like one other person. And that's kind of what got me hooked. Such a cool experience to be able to awaken with the forest in the morning. The Greenbelt is the most magical place to me in Austin. This forest oasis in the middle of a big city, and I feel really fortunate that we have this here. I used to be one of those trail runners who only wanted to run by themselves. I don't want to talk, I don't want to do anything. It was like my meditative time. And now I really can't run by myself at all. I love running with people. I feel like when you're on the trail and you're not face to face with somebody, that you can really connect in a different way, a deeper way. It's just a way to get out of your head and out into nature. There is really this primal wolf pack thing, especially among females. It's just kind of lifts us all up together. It's a really unique feeling because you're moving together as a unit through the forest. It's so primal. And it's really, really cool to just be surrounded by such amazing women. I'm inspired by them all the time.
As a full-time working mom of 2 young kiddos, there's a lot going on in my world on a day-to-day basis. That everything gets very busy and very chaotic, and it can become really challenging to find some time for yourself and find some time to get out and go for a run. Going out and running trails provides such a sense of calm and such a sense of peace, and just allows you to kind of regain perspective if you think you've lost it. And I think that's just what, at least for me, is so appealing about trail running. Initially, when I start out running, it's more of just, I made it here. Got myself out the door, got my clothes on, got my shoes on, I have a little bit of space. And you start running, and I start to kind of get into my groove. I start to find a pace, find a cadence that I like, that's comfortable. It's during that period that I really think I have the opportunity to just kind of think. Was there anything that was going on that, was frustrating to me or was on my mind for whatever reason? And then as I keep running, it allows me to work through things that have not gone well. Then to just regroup. That's what happens in the middle of my run. I'm really lucky to be able to get to do this, and I really enjoy doing it. And I find so much happiness getting out on those trails. It's an ability to take in my surroundings and take in the beauty. And as I finish up, you're climbing. You're working hard. Your breathing's heavy. Your legs are aching. And you reach the top. That sense of joy is pretty tremendous. I see it as life in general. You're always going to have those climbs and those challenges. I worked hard to get up here, but I made it, and I can do it again.
This is a really good sport for women to join. We just have like a certain grit in us that gets us through, which I think is so cool, and I don't see in any other sport. I'm not stopping anytime soon. I've got a good thing going.
We all live in this really busy world, and I think there is some moment that you just need to stop and take that breath and appreciate what is in front of you and just the beauty of this world.
Today we're working with Customs and U.S. Border Protection. We're the border of Mexico and the United States. So the ports of entry located here in Laredo, they're going to be the busiest ports of entry in the state of Texas. 8,000 to 10,000 vehicles coming through on the weekend per day. So today is the day after Dia de los Reyes, which is a big Mexican holiday. It's the time of the year whenever everybody that went to vacation in Mexico for Christmas, for New Year's, they're making their way back to the United States. A lot of hunters come through, so we're checking their harvest. A lot of hunters coming in with a lot of deer antlers. So we make sure that they have the Mexican hunting tag on it. They got to have this filled up. And they also have to have a declaration form declaring any type of wildlife resource that they're going to be bringing into the United States, state of Texas.
The biggest one's going to be mainly seafood stuff.
This is all from the river, from the mouth there at Boca Chica. Speckled
trout, red snapper, redfish, you know, everything that we limit on our side, unlimited over there. We have done undercover buys, and you're thinking, hey, this restaurant's, you know, clean, legit, and then all of a sudden they're buying out of, out of the back of somebody's pickup truck, buying fish, and then we're eating it.
Sir, do you also oysters?
Yeah,
fried oysters.
Lately, we've found a lot of oysters. Oysters are very delicate, so that's why we're really on the lookout for oysters right now, because we don't know how they were harvested. We don't know, what type of sanitation. There's no way of telling because they're coming in from another country.
It's not traditional game warden work. Pretty much one goal, and just making sure that people on the Mexican side are not trying to abuse what we have over here by abusing their laws and bringing it over.
Possum Kingdom Lake has long been a popular spot in Texas for a fun weekend getaway. In recent years, it's even earned international attention. And all of this may be thanks to the towering limestone cliffs known as Hell's Gate. With 90-foot tall canyons and clear blue water, this cove is the perfect place to anchor down and cool off on a hot summer day. But there is more to this place than just a party cove. Hell's Gate acts as a portal into Texas history. There is a story to how Hell's Gate got its name.
These two trappers were coming through the area, and they chanced upon some Indians and they had the best looking furs they ever saw. Thought, we got to find a way to get those best furs from these Indians. So they got out the fire water, passed it around, and got the Indians so drunk that they fell asleep.
2 fur traders coming through the area stole some quality fur pelts from the local Comanches. They loaded up all the furs and headed down the Brazos. The Comanches caught up with them and chased them to these high cliffs.
And one of the trappers says, I'm climbing up there. I'd rather climb up there and jump through the gates of hell before I give those back.
So the Comanches got their furs back, and the legend was born. But there's a twist to this story.
This story was written by a newspaper man in Mineral Wells who started a paper called the Possum Kingdom News in 1949. And he wrote the story because he was trying to sell ads to the fishing camps and the businesses on the lake. And he thought this story would get people to come up to see Hell's Gate.
74 years later, visitors to the area may conclude that the PR paid off.
Cast by the gates of hell.
Hell's Gate has been a focal point at Possum Kingdom for years. It's put this place on the map for being one of the most intriguing lakes in Texas. Heck, the lake has even inspired artists across multiple mediums. From songs to books, and even a movie. While it might not be certain just how Hell's Gate really got its name, the continued curiosity about this cove might just be what makes it legendary.
In the growing city of Lakeway, intermixed within these houses, there's a preserve of sorts called Keturah Canyon.
Just watch your footing.
We can see the swifts a little bit, but it's a little closed in here. We'll get to see some good swift activity at the house tonight.
And here, there's a patio party about to get underway.
We work hard all week, and then when we have folks out like this is what we do for fun. So appreciate you coming out.
This is Paul.
There's a mated pair.
And Georgianne's place.
They'll crisscross.
And these folks are here to see some chimney swifts.
Their numbers are declining dramatically. They're down by probably 50–60% since the 60s here in the United States and Canada. They're on the threatened and endangered list. They've lost 90% of their chimney swift population.
This is now our standard chimney swift structure.
For these two, the birds are more than a fleeting hobby. They've been their life's passion.
Swifts need all the help they can get.
They do.
They're swift saviors.
They're very unique, very beneficial, and they're in very serious decline, mainly because of loss of habitat.
It was back in the 80s when these two met their first chimney swifts.
We pretty much have dedicated our lives to the little black birds that stole our heart. We had no idea what a chimney swift was until we were presented one in a rehabilitation situation.
He's 2 days of age, and the lady found him crawling across her carpet.
We had incubators and interim housing and then flight conditioning cages and whatnot. And we took care of over 1,200 baby chimney swifts over the 19 years that we did wildlife rehabilitation. There's something in your heart that makes you want to help one when you see it injured or when you get a call from someone who has an injured bird. And I suppose the big payoff is when you take a bird, take it outside, and open up your hands, it flies off. It's like magic.
Chimney swifts are quite unique. Unable to perch or stand upright, they rely on a certain type of habitat that's disappearing rapidly.
Historically, they roosted in large hollow trees, and those are not allowed to stand anymore. They then moved into brick chimneys, But now most of those are aging and many are being capped or torn down. So we went on a journey attempting to create habitat for these birds.
The habitat? Their own take on a swift-friendly chimney.
So what we do is we cut these 2 by 2 inch treated wood cleats. Then we've got a nice, almost 2 inch wide piece that we can attach the top or the bottom to. You want to make sure that you really line it up. Taking the time to design one that was relatively easy to build in kind of a kit form has worked out very well.
And these two seem to work well together too.
We've been married for 49 years, believe it or not.
Yeah, we're a good team. Georgianne really knows where to step in when I need an extra hand. Last one. It just fits together like a tongue and groove. Coming down, coming down. Great. The perfect home for chimney swifts. Nice rough surface, little grooves for them to hold on to attach their nest. Yeah, basically anybody that can use a few power tools and read a tape measure can build one of these chimney swift towers, and just one structure can make a real big difference in the breeding success of the birds.
I think all 3 of these have nest links in them.
I think so too.
These two have been working on swift towers for quite some time.
Yes, every year we've learned something new.
We figured if we could come up with something that homeowners could build, then we could increase the habitat. And so we tried one thing, then another, different materials.
And this is their final design.
The outside is a hardy plank that's smooth, so no predators can climb it. The vent up there allows air to circulate through the outside of the tower, keeping it even cooler. There's babies in there. We are so happy we were able to come up with a structure that actually benefits the species and that other people are really jumping on the bandwagon to help the birds.
Okay, we need to dig a little more out of this corner.
Square this up a little bit. That might be okay, Andy.
Landowner and conservationist Andy Sansom.
Can you stand her up?
Is all in on chimney swift towers.
We're a good team.
We just keep building towers so we can get them out here.
This will be the 3rd on his property.
With each of the projects, we have become more and more involved in the actual construction.
This little wire twister cuts a lot of time out. Crank it like that.
Oh.
There you go. That's it. That's the idea.
I feel privileged that they've increasingly trusted me enough to let me participate in the project itself. Come on, man. There we go. I learned a new skill today, or at least half learned.
Yeah, lots more water. I think that's going to do it.
Yeah.
They're halfway home. Humans helping out their feathered friends. It's worked before.
People can actually be credited with the recovery and the return of bluebirds. It's not unreasonable to think that if enough chimney swift towers are built, that the chimney swift towers themselves could be just like the bluebird houses or the purple martin gourds that people put up. Just a real full court press in conservation on behalf of this particular species.
Okay.
That's the hardest part of the tower's construction there, just being on top of the ladder with that big old section up there.
Paul and I have built so many towers together, we very seldom even speak while we're constructing. Kind of a dance.
That's it. We're in. I'm always so glad when that's over. But now it's a piece of cake. Everything's pre-cut, ready to put up. From this point forward, it'll go pretty quick. I'll keep going up with the insulation on top of where Georgianne's been.
It helps. It's to keep it cooler.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks good.
Great. We kind of lost track of how many of these we've done. We've done so many. It's over 100 and probably close to 200.
I don't know that you could identify any individuals who have done so much for an individual species than Paul and Georgianne. And I'm talking about across the board in wildlife conservation. So it was really special.
That's it. Done.
We're already beginning to think about where we're going to put the next one.
Back at Katura Canyon,
they're circling around and faking us out.
the patio party is in full swing.
So when we have folks come out in the evenings to watch the swifts go into the towers, oh, it's so exciting.
Here we go.
It's a mated pair. I think they're feeding.
The food they eat is insects, mosquitoes, gnats, flies, all the things that we swat at and don't want to have around. That's a delicacy to them. That's what they survive on.
Very cool.
Here we go. Oh! There it is.
It's hard to get someone interested in something that's so ephemeral and in the sky all day.
Oh, beautiful.
Until they actually see them.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
So education is the key.
I really didn't know much about chimney swifts before tonight. We have purple martins in our front yard, but I wasn't really aware that chimney swifts are very similar in that way. So see if maybe we can get a chimney out in our backyard too.
This is another design.
So, for these swift saviors, mission accomplished.
We love the birds so much, we want everybody else to care about them the way we do, so that we can have them protected. The more people we can care about them, the better off they're going to be, and the better their chances are in the future.
Wish you could spend more time with nature? Well, every month you can have the great outdoors delivered to you. Since 1942, Texas Parks and Wildlife magazine has been the outdoor magazine of Texas. Every issue is packed with outstanding photography and writing about the wild things and wild places of this great state. And now Texas's best outdoor magazine is available as an app. It's just that easy. Texas Parks and Wildlife magazine. Your connection to the great outdoors.
With Waco being in between Dallas and Austin, we have a perfect opportunity for people from the metropolitan areas to come out here and you can paddle, you can have fun. Lots of opportunity for people to get outside and have fun outdoors.
It's a really fun place to start your kayaking and paddling journey.
So here along the Brazos River, we have overhang on cliffs, and with that, you'll run into a various amount of wildlife.
Hey guys, look at that bird over there.
I would definitely encourage residents here in the state of Texas to come to Waco, enjoy our waterways, especially these paddling trails.
Whoa.
Hey, hey. It had a fun echo though. Did you hear the echo? Nature has cycles, it has a tempo. And our bodies are actually used to that tempo, and sometimes in urban life things are faster, they're flashier, they're more congested. When you get away from that, they have the ability to breathe slower. They can relax their shoulders a little bit more. They're able to think clearer because there's not so many distractions. There's not the next thing they have to do. There's just what they are doing.
This series is supported in part by Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, conserving the wild things and wild places of Texas thanks to members across the state. Additional funding is provided by Toyota. Your local Toyota dealers are proud to support outdoor recreation and conservation in Texas. Toyota, let's go places.